Hey everyone, now that we have learned how to add Pear Deck to our Google Slides add-ons, and we've learned how to add an interactivity into our slides, we are going to talk about how to present using Pear Deck, what it looks like from the student view, and how to assign it for homework if you need to assign it for an asynchronous, self-paced homework assignment for your students. So the first thing we're going to do is go to our slide deck where we've added in our Pear Deck interactivity. We're going to go back to our add-ons, and we are going to select Pear Deck for Google Slide add-ons and open Pear Deck add-on. Once we do that, we will see this right-hand control panel again for Pear Deck pop up in our Google Slides. Instead of selecting Present from Google Slides, you are going to select the green Present Lesson button from within the Pear Deck control panel. So when I select that, you're going to see my slides open, and I can do this by sharing a screen in a live Webex or Zoom session, or I could do it live in my classroom, or I can do it as homework, which I'll show you how to assign in just a second. So once I've launched this, I can give students a link to this session. I can invite my class using Google Classroom, or I can send them to joinpd.com and give them this code that Pear Deck is providing me. So I am going to actually go into a different browser so you can see the student's view. So this is what the student's view will look like from joinpd.com. And if they enter in this code, it's going to ask them to sign in using their Google account. So I'm going to sign in with my personal account. And if your students have institutional Google accounts, or they can log in with their personal accounts, this will allow them to actually be tracked by you. So you can go into the data and you can see who's completed it, who hasn't completed it, and that sort of thing. So I would recommend, if you have Google accounts at your school, that Google Slides is the best way to do this, and have them log in with their UC or your institution Google Slides. So this is what the student side looks like. They get the slides on one side. They get the question on the right. So I'm going to go back to my teacher view here, and I'm going to go on into this bell ringer slide. So you'll see that students have been asked to go to this URL to choose a simulation and to answer this question in a text slide. So if I go back to my student view, you'll see their slides changed automatically. So the students will follow along with me in a live session, and my navigation will actually push theirs. So when I change a slide, their slide changes. So you'll see here, they can actually click on this link. They can access this, and then they can answer this question. When they type their answer in here, so I think that as they type their answers in, if I go back to the teacher view, I can mouse over this bottom section and see show responses or lock screen. So when the students are done and I don't want them adding any more answers, I can lock the screen in a live session. If I want to show, you see my I think that automatically pops up. So all of the student responses will automatically pop up in a stream here for text answers, and they don't even have to hit return or enter. It will just automatically feed into there. If I want to do another prompt on the fly, I can hit new prompt here, and it will allow me to select any of these pre-made prompts that I want to use, and I can keep going. There's a ton of them. If I close that window, it takes me back, and if I hide responses, it allows me to go back to my slides. To go on in my presentation, I either hit the right arrow, or I can hit the right arrow icon down in the bottom left, and it goes to the next slide. So you'll see that in the student view, again, their slides are automatically changing, which is fantastic, and it keeps them right on track with you in a face-to-face session or a Webex session or a Zoom session, anything like that. So if I go on down to one of these questions with a different type of question, like this one is add a number, and if I go to the student view, you'll see they want you to add a number here. So I'm going to say 75%. So the student view will remain like this, but the instructor view, again, if I go to show responses, you're going to see a number line with all of the students' answers on this number line. So the number line multiple choice text-based answers are all free for this particular version of Pear Deck. If you want any of those pro versions like draggable, or if you would like students to be able to draw or circle on a slide, you can try that free premium trial for Pear Deck and sign up for that and give it a shot and see how you like those types of questions as well. So if I go back to my instructor view here and hide the responses, if I want this to be homework instead of a live presentation, I can go to my three dots down here and I can turn on student paced. Now the great thing about this is I can have some of my questions be instructor paced in a live session and then suddenly switch it to student paced where they work on their own for a little while. Or I can assign it as student paced right from the beginning. And it's going to give me this URL here. So if students haven't joined me in a live session and I just want to post a link to homework on Canvas or Blackboard, I open my session, I select student paced, I copy this URL and I add that into Canvas or Blackboard as an assignment for my students. And then I can actually go into Pear Deck, and I will show you how to do that. And I can see the data on which students have completed this and which ones haven't. So if I go to peardeck.com, and even though you've never logged in here before, if you've added the add-on, you can go to teacher login. I do not want to upgrade to premium right now. You'll see it automatically logged me in using my Google login. And if I go to sessions, I'm going to see this unnamed student pace session right here that I just launched. I can open that session back up again. I can go over here where it's going to allow me to see the classroom view, where it's going to allow me to see the teacher dashboard, or I have my three dots here where I can actually turn off the student pace session or end it. I can name it or archive it. If I click this section, it's going to take me, and it's going to keep asking me if I want to upgrade to premium. It's going to take me back to see what the students are seeing on the projector. So if you want to open that teacher dashboard back up again, you can do that. Once I have ended the session, so I'm going to end this session. I'm going to name it as my test session here. And if I go back to Pear Deck and my sessions, you're going to see that my session now, instead of saying student paced or live, it's going to say closed. When I go to that closed session, now I can export to a spreadsheet, and that's going to give me all of my students' participation in a spreadsheet that I can use for grading or attendance purposes. So this is a fantastic tool to add some interactivity. If you're used to doing in-class face-to-face lectures using Google Slides or using PowerPoint, this is a fantastic way to see if your students are reviewing your slides, if they can answer questions about the content, and to have them participate in a live lecture using a tool like Webex or Zoom.